This is Renee Stanley for Movie Review Relay, and we're here today to talk about Lucy. Lucy is a 2014 French action film directed, written, and edited, it says, by Luc Besson. And it stars Scarlett Johansson as the title character, and then Morgan Freeman is the co-starring as the professor. Now, Lucy is a young American woman who naively gets involved with a drug trade while visiting Taiwan, Taipei. She is exposed to drugs that theoretically allows her to rapidly expand the use of her brain from the allegedly 10% that they claim in this particular movie that we all use. That has been debated. It doesn't really matter. You know, it's a movie, it's art. You know, we don't really care that much. Okay, so people normally use 10%, and Lucy is going to be using 100%, okay, because of this drug that's been infused in her body, okay? So we have this gangster, okay? His name, the actor's name is Chow, and I'm hoping again I pronounce it correctly, Chow Min-sik, okay? And I have to tell you, he's marvelous. All right, so the movie begins with Lucy and her boyfriend talking outside of the fancy hotel, this big fancy hotel, and the boyfriend is telling her, you have to go in here with this case, and just do me a favor and I'll give you $500. So she's not too naive, and you know, she thinks about it. She says, no, why can't you go then? You know, how much are they paying you? She knows something is going on, but I don't think in her wildest dreams she knew what was in store for her. So she tells him to go. He doesn't want to go. She asks him how much he's getting. He doesn't want to say. You know, he's acting very shady now. So at one point, I guess he realizes that she's not going to do it. So he handcuffs her to the suitcase, thereby forcing her to go in and see this gangster. And it's really very scary. I have to say, the director did such a wonderful job. As Lucy walks into the hotel, you're not initially afraid. You know, the hotel is very like a 5-star hotel. It's very classy, very beautiful. But then as she begins to ask questions, and she says who she is and what she's there for, everything takes a turn, a dark turn. And Lucy's sitting there with the suitcase, well, she's standing there, I should say, at the counter with the suitcase attached to her arm. And you see the gangster and his entourage turn the corner and head toward her. And you know it's not going to be good. You're afraid for Lucy. And this is a sign of good directing. This is a sign of good writing. You are afraid for Scarlett Johansson's character, Lucy. You're frightened for Lucy. You know something's going to happen and it's not going to be good. So you're hoping and you're praying for her as this guy comes toward her with all of his henchmen, you know. All right. And, you know, of course, I don't want to spoil the whole thing for you. But I have to tell you, the first 15 minutes are riveting, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you empathize with Lucy immediately. Scarlett Johansson is so afraid. She's vomiting. She's convulsing. You can feel that fear. So the gangster is magnificent. He's ruthless. You know, he's running this illegal drug trade, and evidently Lucy's boyfriend screwed the whole thing up, whatever the deal was supposed to be. I think he was supposed to be the one, but he threw her in it, so now she's the one who's carrying the drugs. She's like the drug mule, and that's when they unfortunately put these drugs in your body, and you know, in your body cavity, actually sew them in. They operate on you and sew them in, and then you're supposed to, you know, transport them like that within your body. Anyway, so it's not for kids. I'm sure you realize that. It's rated R. It's very gross. Oh, I should say that. Okay. So it's rated R. It's for adults. It's not kid friendly. A lot of disgusting parts. This is like the underbelly of society. Everything that you could think of happens. Vomiting, attempted rape, all sorts of things. So no, don't take the kiddies to see this one. Leave them at home. All right. So there's a limited amount of the backstory that is told, that's revealed. Lucy and many young people will relate to her situation. A young woman who's partying in a strange land, and she falls in love with her boyfriend, and then basically he betrays her. Because that's what he's doing, really. He's betrayed her in such an awful way. You know, something happens to him. I don't want to, you know, go into that. You'll see it. So I would say it's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. The ending, though, is anticlimactic. I don't know why they chose to end it this way. You know, I'll let you see what that is. But the ending, they kind of cheated on, I think, a little bit, because everything else about the picture seemed to be so good. I still have to recommend it. I thought it was very nicely done. Morgan Freeman is a brilliant actor. Everybody knows him. You know, he's played various roles, including a pimp, a contractor, killer. He's played a convict. He's played the voice of God. Everybody's seen that. However, the role in this movie, he sounds less convincing than when he normally narrates something. So I'm thinking this is purposely done. This is intentionally done. They wanted him to sound unsure, because at one point, one of the students, he's a professor, you know, and he's basically, he plays the part of an instructor, and he's talking to a room full of students. And basically, one of the students will ask him, they will say, "Professor, what happens when the brain reaches 100%?" Because he's this expert on you know, the brain and the use of the brain. And he says, "I don't know." So yeah, maybe that was done intentionally. And that's why, even though he's almost explaining this to you as the movie's going along, the movie cuts back and forth between him and Lucy. Lucy trying to get out of her predicament with the gangsters, and him in his classroom explaining about the brain and the use of the brain, and why we don't use most of it, and what happens if we do use it to full capacity. 5 being the best and 1 being the worst, Lucy easily comes in at a 3.5. Go see Lucy. I think you'll enjoy it. I did. But if that's too much for you, because I understand if you have kids and everything, it's not the type of movie you want to take kids to see. You want to go see Hercules. Yes, Hercules with The Rock. Well, he doesn't call himself The Rock anymore. It's Dwayne. Hi.